It's a beautiful day. I'll tell you why it's a beautiful day. We're a third of the way through winter. So we've got July and August left. And I'm on holidays for 2 weeks in the rain. Right, so a couple of things went wrong. I lost footage again. This phone, I put a new battery in and did a factory reset, but it was only moderately successful. So there were some bits and pieces when I was reassembling the steering box, which I lost. But I ended up taking a shaft out again and then refitting it anyway, because I had trouble with the shim, or like an adjuster washer type thing. You'll see in the footage that's coming up in a second. So we've been doing pretty well with this. We've got, so far, I'm going to turn the camera around, rebuilt steering box. I do have to just do the preload, and I made a funky tool, and I'll tighten up that when it's back in the car. It's just easy to get to, and I do have to set that, and there's another adjuster behind here which I have to do too. Aside from that, that's all done. And I've got the coupling for it somewhere. I don't know where I've put it. Where did I put it? There's the old one. Is it in here? Control arms and brake lines and all sorts of stuff in here. What the hell did I do with it? Anyway, I've got pitman arm, idler arm, control arms, bearings I was donated, seals, uni joints, everything I need. Heater box I've done up. I popped a new coring, and I did have trouble because I put one of the flaps in the wrong way, and I've made a note of it in the video. This is all hooked up, ready to go. I am going to bench test it. I'm just going to find the controls and also try and figure. I think that fan wiring came out from underneath it. I'm not too sure. I tested the fan and put new foam around it and all this sort of stuff. Of course, the engine and transmission you know about. So all I got to do is clean up under here, repaint it, and we can start putting stuff back together. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Okay, a couple of things to note. I've got the rack piston in, and I've got the input shaft in. I don't know how well we can see in here. See that shim? It looks like a coin at the bottom there. That has to go in a threaded rebate there. That's where the adjuster screw is. That flat side runs on the back of the rack for adjustment. There's a couple of things with this. I'm just going to get that sorted. This seal, now I missed a whole lot of opportunities for footage. So the seal in here has a very, very fine rebate. It has to be brought in from the base here. So I knocked it in with an extension and a socket very, very carefully, and it runs up to that really fine rebate. It's so fine, barely noticeable. So if you install that seal from this side, it's going to fail because it'll get past that shoulder and then be too slack in the bore. Now to get the seal in, you also have to take a needle roller race out. It's in a plastic cage. So you're knocking that out, putting the seal in back up this way, and then the plastic race, the needle roller race in the plastic cage. Then you can get that input shaft in from here. Yeah. When you put this in, the outer race, support race, for the bottom of that shaft is so tight in here, and I stuffed it up. It feels like it doesn't fit, and if you force it, it'll cock, and then it's jammed in there. So you have to be very, very ginger in how you bring it down because it needs virtually no lateral movement. And the adjustment for the preload is done here. That's not adjusted. If I back that off, we'll get slack here. I'll demonstrate it when I'm finished doing this. So we have to adjust that preload, but I'm going to adjust it last, right? So in the meantime, I need to get that little shim onto that rebate, onto that threaded bit there. the bottom of that coin thing has got a semicircular cup in it that sits in there, and then that rack has machined back, and that can sit in on top of it in the center. Yeah, so I have to adjust it so it's in the center, and then I can put the sector shaft in. But this is, you know, I had a lot of this footage and it's gone, unfortunately. I ended up taking that rack out again. There it is there. So I can't go anywhere now. The pistons on this, they're a Teflon seal, the pistons here, or ring. That's the surface that runs on. I have to give it another wipe. When we pop this in, we've got to pop it at an angle so we don't get the ring damaged by that thread. The other thing is, I made this up. It's like a piston ring compressor for the 3 small rings on the shaft here. That's where all the fluid comes in, all your high pressure fluid comes in. So they seal against rings on this input shaft. So I've got that little thing in there. So we'll put the, I've got to wipe that off a bit, it's got some crap on it. So we'll put this in. I'm just going to see if I can get the camera in the right spot. I can't really do too much about this. I've just lubricated it all with fresh fluid and a bit in the bore as well. And I've just got to make sure that I don't knock that out. I'm sorry you can't see. There's little I can do about it at the moment. It's so easy to knock it out, you know. Can you see the shim resting there, and I've got the rack above it, so when I push that down on top of it, we can't then afford to move it because that so easily comes out. So I think the biggest problem with this is the sector shaft. I think it's too worn. Bearing surface cleaned up okay, but not to how I'd like to see it. Got the center tooth ready. There's also a thrust washer. Oh, that goes on the end. It doesn't go there. That's cool. So I'll lubricate this up. Fresh tranny. I've got my transmission goop here. I was going to put that around where the seal goes, but I think I'll just use transmission fluid. And we'll stick it in. So we've got to have this horizontal, and we've got to feed it in, making sure that meshes with the center one. We might have to use a torch to see it. I can't film it, unfortunately. Now, where's my little torch? Here's the torch. Damn, how are you supposed to see that? Which one is it again? Oh, that one. Hang on. Ah, I see. You don't, because the camera just fell. Hang on a minute. Let me just double check. Yep, that's the guy there. So that's got to go in there. Right. Now, the next thing we need to do, this can never be hammered. We might have to just alter that a bit. The input shaft, turn it just to, you know, so it's good. And then that's in. That's how it sits. There's a bit of slack, we've got to adjust it. We've got a thrust washer which goes at the top. That way. And then this guy should fit on. Oh, I've got to lubricate the seal. I've got to say, this is not my finest work, in case you hadn't already realised. I'm being a bit laissez-faire about it. It actually feels a lot better. You can still just feel it sent away, but it's not bad at all. But we do have to adjust it. There it is there. So I've got that seal in. this cover can go back on if, oh there it is. So I'll just give that a, and we've got to set up preload here. We've got to adjust the box from that grub screw behind here. Just a moment. Right, so the rest of it is just the seal. The seal, there's a couple of bits to it, right? There's the seal itself, which I think goes that way. Yes, it does. There's a steel washer, a circlip, and a dust boot. At least I think that's how it works. So, this is a tapered shaft. That's going to work. This is a tapered shaft. I can't find my electrical tape. I'm just going to put that around there, just to protect it a bit, and pop that in. So the seal, which I thought was the seal, wasn't. It was just a dust seal. When we pulled it apart, we looked at this bit here. I don't know if that was a bit, but it looked like crap. Oh no, it was this bit. All sort of falling apart, but it was in that way. I thought they went the other way. That's the old seal, so it'll be fairly munted, I would think. So I'm sure, look at the shape of the seal. It surprised me it hasn't got a spring in it. That should go down like that. Just run it around like that. And that should go in. Just make sure that it's not. Because if it flicks inside out, you're buggered. Be a friggin' miracle if it doesn't leak, eh? Let's turn it upside down and get that ring out again. Is it coming? Look, let me take it out. Look, I reckon there's not much we can do. It did feel okay going in, but I kind of don't like it. Oh. Come on, you bastard. Then, yep. Seems like it did. And the last bit is this, but I don't know which way it goes. It looks as though, I think it goes in that way because it has got a fine sealing surface. I do think it goes that way. I think it just sort of nudges in. Yeah, it does. So the reason I put it this way is because the sealing surface is against the machine part of the sector shaft. So, the only thing I need to do now is see if our new pitman arm fits. Because we know the other one wasn't going to fit. It was a manual steering one, I believe. Oh, just a sec. There are 4 master splines. So it should only go, oops, one way. Which is there.
Hi YouTube.
Hello.
Hi YouTube.
And then it just goes on there. And that should be it. So we just have to do, I've got to tighten that in the car, set the preload up and do a small adjustment there, which I think I'm almost out of. But my golden, I'm not going to paint this, I'm just going to clear it. I'm interested to see what's going on with this heater box. So I've got lots of mystery wrappings and stuff which I'm going to do away with. It's a one-way valve or something. That's what that looks like. So we can rewrap. And I'll be filming some of this just to sort of see how it all goes together when I come to reassemble it. But there's a lot of bits and pieces, big chunks of silicone there. I don't know if anything leaked in the car. There's cables which are going to take my eye out if I'm not careful, so I'm going to undo those. The biggest problem I've got with it is the... I'm going to take all these off. But it's things like the foam. It's just disintegrated. So I need to redo, all the foams. Because, I mean, you just can't use that again. And you wouldn't even try. It's just powder. So I'll take all that out. I'll take the back off. Well, this part. This is all, actually it's easier than one of the earlier cars because you just unscrew it. And that whole thing will come off. I might have to cut off all this elastic around the air conditioning evaporator. And there's also vacuum lines travelling through here to the other side. The heater fan resistor's knackered, so I need a new one of those. I might actually unplug that and keep it separate. So yeah, I do need one of those. We'll test the heater fan. I think from memory I tried to test it before and I couldn't because the switch was rooted. I haven't yet come up with a solution for that. The other thing is there's a thermostat there, that's all good. And the vacuum motors I need to, with the vacuum pump to test they're working right. We've got B, okay. So B goes to the climate control thing. So some of these go to the engine bay. I have noticed with the Fords, they use a similar vacuum line for the heater taps on the non-air conditioned cars, and they perish so badly. So I'm just going to go through here, thread these through. This has a vacuum source, yeah. So I'll leave all the, that'll be power to the receiver dryer. And this is heater tap. Awesome. They always seem to go there. So I'm just going to get a screw stick and, sorry, hang on, I'm going to take this off, just a moment. I'll get a screwdriver and I'm going to drop, where's this one? Just so I can move it around without poking my eyes out. We'll lay him down, take the cover off here, and then I can access in the heater box itself and start cleaning it up a bit. Sometimes you see lovely stampings and markings. The XW, when I did that one, that's a different one. It wasn't plastic. It was this kind of like pressed particle board stuff, the same as the Galaxy had. And it actually had the date of, I think it was July 1969 or September 1969 or something. I think it was September 69. No, it was July 69 because the car's September 69. And the XC is September 77 and my birthday is September 66. So, anyway, I'm going to start removing these bits. I'll leave all the vacuum lines in one piece, if you know what I mean. I probably don't even need to take any more off than that. We'll see. I wonder if I might speed this up a bit. This guy called me a hoarder. And there's actually nothing further from the truth because I get so much pleasure out of throwing stuff out that I'm not going to use. Boxes and old parts and this sort of stuff. And I sold recently the engine for the EJ and that took so much room. Half of it was done, machined, but because I changed direction for the car, getting rid of all that stuff was just a pleasure. It was so good. So I'll just take all this off. I'll probably should be doing it slowly, but there's a mastic sealer under here, so I'm going to be running along it with a blade to cut it. But yeah, I get a huge amount of pleasure from cleaning up. My problem, and I do have a problem, my problem's not will I keep all this stuff that can never be used. I used to watch that show Hoarders, and the things that people used to do, used to keep, was just rubbish, you know. And I've never been like that, but I mean, my problem is getting stuff, and rather than moving it on, you know, get an engine. Oh, cool. What car can I put this engine in? That's my problem, and I shouldn't do that. But while I can, I'm doing it, because when I retire, I won't have the funds. And at the moment, we're in so much bloody debt. I'll get to the point where I just cull a bunch of things, a bunch of cars, just to get myself, you know, ready for retirement and whatnot, because I won't be able to keep them all when I retire. Can I get this guy in? There'll be a line here. Oh, no, it's not. It just overlaps. Oh, wow. Okay. You can tell I've done this before, right? Plastic's all down this end. Hang on, no, it's down this end, because that's where your water for your air conditioner condensation gathers. We're going to have to clean all this up. And also those doors, that foam there's rooted as well. We can actually just take the vacuum thing on, open it, hold it, that's holding vacuum. So we know it works. It's just that it's a good time while it's all apart to, you know, rectify any of those problems. Fortunately, this plastic's still semi-pliable, but I've just got to go through. I'm using a paint can opener and a spatula to cut the plastic and the mastic, sorry, and the plastic's still in good nick, so there is a bit of give in it. And you can just feel it cut through. But you wouldn't do that with one of the older type particle board ones. Look at that stuff, it's pretty tough. It's like urethane almost. It's not mastic, that's for sure. Gosh, it's like a membrane. Damn. Oh well. Heater box. There's the evaporator. And this is the bit I want to see. And I think we're going to put a new one in. See there? Looks like it's leaked. Don't like that. But that's, yeah, that's no good. It's actually got a healthy size evaporator in it, but look at this, look at the foams. Just gone. That green could be coolant, which I would say it is. Awesome. Cool. Alright. And there's also that door, so we'll take that door off. And I might take that out and might make access to a few things a little bit easier. There we go. It's got that little probe on the thermostat, which I think is broken. Oh no, that's still there. Goodness me, what a mess. So, I think it might even be better just to drill out these rivets, take all that out, and just start again, you know. It's very manageable in its sort of undone state now. That set of foam should come off, but I don't want to break it. I want to reuse that. Here we go. These are 180 bucks or something. Negligible for what you're getting, really. But that ain't going back in. I just don't trust it. It would likely be the original one. I can't see that this car's had any maintenance whatsoever anyhow. I've taken off this stuff. There's a little vacuum tank there. I have to check that that doesn't leak. It's got quite a dry grommet. And also it looks like it could split if we're not careful, so we'll take that off. And it's just dowdy, old, never been looked after. And we'll rebuild it all and make it nice. That's stripped. I always thank Nick Sagliano for this. The best thing. But it's been used for a lot of things that it's not actually designed for. Here we go. And it's priceless. You know, what it saves you is phenomenal. So that's all the vacuum loom and bits and pieces. These ones seem to be pretty good. I've marked that one lower. I don't think there's any difference between them, but hang on. They do hold vacuum. So that's cool. Now some of these are good too because you can take the doors off without destroying the thing. I've got to wire wheel this. All the foam. It can't be healthy breathing that stuff in, but it breaks down. Like, I wonder if there's a problem with it because OH&S wasn't a thing in 1982. But you can just undo that and there's a wire loop and you just pull it out. So there's one remaining here, but I can get that out with a screw and take that whole door out. This is a worry, this one, because it's pot riveted. But I might take that baffle out, which will give me more access to it. I hate it when they spin. They're both spinning. I hate it when they do this. It just makes everything take 10 times longer. You've got to hold it back a bit. We'll clean that up too. You can see the remnants of the glycol in it, the coolant. And we can get to these. It's cool how they've done these. You just pop a screw out. Get another screwdriver in there and just jimmy it off. There we go. I've almost got it. There. And we can just rebuild that. That has a huge bit of foam on it. I'll have to think about that when I put it together. But this is almost down to the bones I wanted. I don't know. I do have to remove that. But yeah, that's the only thing I have to remove now. And we're golden. You know, I'll leave those there because I'm just going to wash it. That is part of the broken fan speed controller. The thing I used for this on the other cars had a fair bit, bit of success was door stopper rubber from the local hardware, and it just comes in a roll and you just stick it down. I've used that before with some success as well. But anyway, look, that's the heater box in bits. And it's a mess. Look at this stuff. So I've just got a large Rollock disc here. You know who you are, who gave me that. It's beautiful. And we can just basically get all that rust off. We'll rattle can it and make it a little bit better. Just takes it. I find it better than a wire brush too. Right, so when I've cleaned these up in a very sort of haphazard way. They're still pretty dirty. Actually, I might give that a hit with some thinner. Whatever the case, when you buy taillight gaskets, I always keep the supporting pieces, because these are excellent. It's a bit thick actually, but on the whole they're really good for doing this sort of thing. That's XW Falcon, which won't be big enough for any of those. There's XC Falcon here, and you're only using, when you buy these things, you're only actually using a small bit, and they actually hold the main part of the taillight gasket in the right spot. Unfortunately, these are a little bit too small, but I have got this, and that's what we use. And I'll use it also on the bottom of the thing. Now, the adhesives you get normally when you buy an adhesive, if it's this sort of stuff, it's no good because the nozzle's blocked for a start. But what I wanted to demonstrate was it actually soaks into the material where these ones sit on top. That's the one you need. I got smashed really badly on the price of that, but it was ridiculous what I paid for it. That was $17 when I bought it years ago. That was $50, and I don't think it needs to be anything like that. So I'm just going to use a pair of these to cut out the bits I need from this masterpiece of foam. And this piece of foam's been kicking around on the garage floor for ages. There's an oily bit there, so I won't use that. But that's going to be fine. And you know, we'll stick it on and Bob's your uncle. But the top bit there, I'm going to have to trim down just around this area here, just so it can sit on and do what it's meant to. So I'll sketch around there with a pen. And let it tack off, and then we can sort of put it over. It's really sticky. And like any contact adhesive, you get one crack at it. And I haven't done that well. It must be because I'm still not that well. Maybe if I do it this way, it might be easier putting that on top. There we go. I'll just trim that. I'm about to do something dodgy. These razor blades are just Bunnings. 20 or $30 for 100 of them. They are nice and sharp when you get them out, but they dull mega easily, much more than quality ones would. So they're quite cheap and nasty. There's the door. Foamed at both sides. The other one looks a bit better, but that's marginal. So they'll be fine. There's the baffle. I've given it a paint job. That has to be riveted back in here through the case. Now, I haven't got the right size rivets, so I'm going to be using flat washers either side of 3mm ones, which is dodgy. These really little washers came in a kit when I was about 18, but I've had them sort of lying around forever and a day. Now, is that going to be... Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll work well. Oops. You almost need 3 hands because I haven't got the strength to pull this in. Oh, yes, I have. I just found it. I found my strength. Oh, there we go. And that'll just hold it nice and sturdy. Right, well, to look at the box, you can see it's painfully obvious somebody's been in here before, because Ford wouldn't double gang washers on rivets, but It's really tight. It's not going anywhere. Zero cares in the world. I was going to say something else, but you know. These doors will just sit over and screw on. I just don't know what to do with the screw. This could be one of them. I'm not sure. Is that one of the screws? Yep, it kind of does look like it. So, if it's not, that's what's going there. So that now will work. That's going to be good. No, I'm happy with that. That's cool. I decided I had to put this air conditioning unit back in because to take it out or to take the evaporator out means that if anyone wanted to recommission it in the future, they probably wouldn't. It'd be very expensive, but also it's a completely dash out job, or a complete dash out job. Where my pet hate of these things poking out of firewalls. Can you see those? Yeah, those leads there poking out of firewalls that go nowhere. And I saw a GT, an X, I can't remember, going like 180 grand on it with these things just poking through, going nowhere. I thought it was the worst presentation. I thought, why would you try and flog a car? It looks like that. But, which way does this go? We'll have to just sort of pop that there. It feels like it doesn't leak. So that would go in like that. And then that runs up against it, that vein there. So that's pretty much all I can do for now. I've got to test this heater fan and also clean that cover up. We've also got to put a bit of Damastic around the base. So this is good, this stuff just peels off, it's nice and easy. So I'll just have Damastic going sort of halfway up here and then around the base. The top half I won't bother obviously because there's no point. Right, so I've got the header caught in there. I've just put a bit of adhesive under there. It's a bit knackered. I do have this aluminium tape. You get them at body shops. This is from Nelson's. And I might wrap that in aluminium tape just so... I think it's going to have less of a... it's probably not going to sag nearly as much if I put this on. I'm just going to have to figure out how I'm going to do it. I've lost my scissors, just a moment. I'm just putting this tape sort of around. I think it's probably too little too late. It's just less inclined to be affected by heat. I'm just going to have to put a couple of strips here and, you know, as I said, it probably won't do anything, but I used to use this. You know what I used to use this for? When I was a kid. Nielsen Holden used to sell automotive paints and that sort of thing. And I used to use this. I bought a roll there and I used it to write XR on the back of my motorcycle on the exhaust. And it never burnt off. And then I didn't sort of see it available for a long time, you know. I should probably put some at the back, but I don't want to pat it too much. I think that's going to be okay. I just want to try to stick this on and see if I get in the right spot. Now this tested fine. You've got to make sure you test these before you stick them on, because if it doesn't work, it's a pain in the neck. Should you need to remove anything. And that looks pretty good. So... and it's reasonable too. I think it's $12 a roll or something. Milsom's in Furniture Gully, people. Milsom's, you've got to go there. I don't know how long they're going to be there because Terry keeps talking about retiring. He's just turned 80. I'm being really scabby here. This mastic sealer, I'm just about out of. I bought it. I think I've had it since 2006. I bought it for a Wolseley I was doing. The first car, when I started restoring cars again, And I'm just about out of it. But this mastic stays soft. Great for around taillights and that sort of thing. Oh, I've just made it. Oh man, let's have a look. And it's messy. I've got some dirty old gloves on, but I'm pretty much out. I'll just lower this. And this is a pain within itself because I've got to get those two pivots through. And they're a jolly nuisance. So I'm just going to turn the camera off while I do it. I've got Richard Graham's lovely headlight. I'm wearing the wrong glasses too. I've got to feed this through and then I can sort of secure it. There it is there. There it is. So I'm just going to bang a screw in. Just to hold it. Oh, it turns out I had the door around the wrong way. Idiot. Blew on. Oops. Is this ready? Okay. This is just this doorstop stuff I was talking about. I wish I could find my scissors. I don't know what I've done with them. But we can just take that off. It's really sticky. And that's not going to go anywhere. I just pulled a bit of it up then, but it should be fine. This is probably a bit too thick, but I'm not too worried about it really. I wanted to connect all the vacuum controls up, but they're sort of intertwined with the cluster. Oh, it's that one. Yep. This one. That's that door. This one. Don't know what that does. And this one. So that works. That works. We didn't get that one working, do we? Yellow. Do we get the yellow one working? Wrong one. Not doing much. That one. That's that air one there. I keep forgetting where I'm up to. Oh, it's that one there. Alright, so they're all working. This one is manually controlled by that cable, which screws in there and locks into that one. So that all should be working. It seems to be holding vacuum. I might just pop a little bit of just seal around there because I don't like how that is. And the other thing I really don't like about this, and these vacuum lines are terrible for this, is that main feed has a T-junction in it, then another joint there with an elbow on it. I'm going to take all that out and just put one piece in. A bigger piece of vacuum line, quicker vacuum, and also that is a really healthy good bit that I can use on the XD because I was missing some for that car. So I'll take that out and I'll change that bit of vac line. And I think it's dodgy how they've done it anyway. It's just multiple pieces. So we'll pop a new piece in there and we should be good. Anyway, look, I hope you've enjoyed that. Take good care of yourselves, enjoy Classic, and I'll see you soon.